Greetings everybody, this is Domingo with you today. Hope you're doing fantastic, and today we're going to be looking at ACDSee Photo Studio Ultimate. So this is a photo application, but it also allows you to use it as a photo viewer. Now what you're seeing here is just the main interface and the main part of it. So what I'm looking at here are all my folders here with any photos listed and any sort of file extensions included here. So it shows the folders on the left side here where it shows your desktop folders, and then it also allows you to use ACDSee Mobile Sync, which is an application on your mobile phone that you can get, which allows you to sync photos from your phone and all that. So definitely we can use that at another time. Then there's also cloud sync drives where you can sync it with OneDrive, and all your folders for OneDrive get synced here. And then also allows you to go through this PC, and then you just go through pictures, and then it allows you to access the folders from here. And then all your other folders are included here. And then it also shows it in a catalog mode where there's albums, peoples, places, and various. So there's no files assigned to this metadata group right now. This is just something that you would label for some folders. So let's just say we're going to go into pictures, and then we go into the pictures folder right here, and then we're just going to go here and then right click on it, and then you can also do a lot of options here. There's view, process, external editors, ACDSee actions, browse actions, add to image basket, shortcuts, slideshow, map, batch. And then you can also set tags, ratings, labels, categories, collections, also add metadata to it, cut, copy, delete, rename, copy and move to folder. You can also send it with your emails to Flickr, to SmugMug, or Zenfolio. Print it. You can also set it as wallpaper from here. And then you can go to the properties as well. And the properties that show are listed here. I think this is sort of like the resolution size and the file size. And then you can just close that. And then you can also customize the panels, and then it shows up certain panels here. You can zoom in on each of the files, and then you can see what is available. So it shows clearly the picture here, the file extension, and also if it's a PSD or a JPEG, it identifies everything here. So it allows you to go import from device, from scanner, from disk, from CD, DVD, and then you can also batch edit and batch export. So let's say you have a folder of photos that you want to go to, and then let's just say that this folder is in your saved pictures folder. There's nothing there. So in your camera roll, those are all your photos. So then I think what you can do is also you can click on one and hold down shift and then select a few, and then you can go batch develop, adjust timestamp, resize, rename files, that sort of thing. And then I think there's also a method where you can also edit as well. There's a lot you can do on here. They don't call this Ultimate for nothing. So let's go to File, and then you can also add to shortcuts, private folder, database, that sort of thing. So there is also the C drive where it's a cloud experience at your fingertips. We can connect that another time. And then you can go View, and then for toolbars, you can just go to Reset Layout, and then what it'll do is it's just going to restart the application, and then it'll reset the layout. So we're just going to do that quickly. And you like this. Then it also shows your startup thing, and then we're just going to close that. So let's say you just made a mistake and you want to reset your layout, then that's one way to do it. And then they also have the message center here where you can just look at all the messages here, and you can just try out new products, you can see deals, whatever you want to do. And then manage is where we are. So photos, when we click photos, this shows photo mode. And it gives you the catalog, orphan files, filter, and it's a quick way to view your entire image of collection by date. So you can click experience it to experience it. There we go. So it shows all the things that were made here. So as you can see, these whole stretch of photos were keyframes that I made using EBSynth, or EBSynth as some people say, and those are all that I've created. So it's about 600 items there. And then there's also 113. These are mainly thumbnails. and then you can just like splice them together. You can make it bigger as well, and then you can also look through each stuff here. So there's a lot of keyframes there. So there's your photos, and then they also have what's called view. So you can see here, double click an image to view it in view mode. So let's just double click this, and then it'll take it to view mode. So this is view mode here, where you can view all the photos. So it's like a photo viewer application and that sort of thing. And then there's also what's called develop up here. So when you click on develop, I think it's going to take us to a mode where it allows you to develop certain things. So we're just going to wait and see. There we go. So the develop mode allows you to adjust properties of a photo, and in general it shows here exposure, highlights, fill light. So let's just play around with some of these settings. So we're just going to adjust the exposure. Wow, look at that. Then highlights, and then you can also fill light. Then we're just going to do some contrasting, and then vibrance. Oh wow, look at that. And also there's a dehaze function. That looks really vibrant already. And then they also have white balance here, where you can adjust the temperature, tint strength, and then you can adjust the strength from 100 all the way down here like this. And then it also has a color picker option, where you can pick the color, and then it changes it according to the white balance. So once you select custom, you can use the color picker to pick it out, and then it shows here the RGB profile. And then also light EQ, you can go shadows, and then there's midtones and highlights. So, and then also if you don't like it, you can just reset it. So you can do the same thing here. You can just reset everything, and once it's reset, it shows the default. So you can touch up photos from the develop mode here, which is really nice. And then there's also effects. So we're just going to select a photo effect here, and then they have a list of effects. So let's go Chrome. So it adds a photo effect to it. So we're just going to add another. Actually, we're just going to discard the changes, and then we're just going to select a regular photo. Let's go to photos again, and then we're just going to find a photo that has like people in it here. So let's just go and get this one here. So we're going to double click that. It'll just take us to the viewer, and then you can also go straight into it by going into develop mode. Well, from viewer mode here, there's functions here. There's add to image basket, rotate left, rotate right, face tool, edit face outlines and names, select tool, zoom tool, full screen. We can go full screen right now. So press F to pay respects. Exit full screen mode. So there we go. And then there's also the external editors. And then you can configure your editors here. So you can add a photo editor like Photoshop, I think, or whatever you have on here, and you can use that editor. But I think this editor is full of stuff here, so we're just going to just look at that. The Actions Browser, Auto Light EQ, so it automatically EQs it. You can just cancel that. And then Auto Lens, you can add a lens to it. Oh, look at that. And you can add black and white to it, add some sparkle to that. Wow, that's really cool. And then you can just go low-mo. And then I think with develop mode, you can go into develop, and then you can adjust the settings like this. So let's just go general white balance. Let's just adjust the strength a bit. Let's adjust the temperature to make it nice and cool. And then you can also adjust the tint strength here. So of a more green hue, or you can just go right in the middle, or more of a pink hue like this. And then for soft focus, you can adjust the strength of it, and then it'll apply here. And then brightness, and then contrast here. And then you can also adjust the total width here. As you can see, it's making a lot of changes in real time. Then you can also add the effects. So color overlay effect, you can add, let's say, a red overlay or a blue overlay, and then make it completely white. You can choose the entire spectrum if you want to. So you can overlay it with a green, but we can also overlay it with the blue like this. And then there's a gradient map where you can add some gradient effect to it. So for the shadows, let's just say it's a white, and then for the highlights, it's a black. So you can make it like some sort of a negative effect, and then you can also add grain amounts, grain smoothing, grain size. That's pretty nice. Add some grain to it. And then if you don't like it, you can just reset it like that. So those are some effects you apply. And then there's also color loots. I'm not sure what this is. Let's go film. Oh wow, look at that. So it adds a nice film style to it. And then you can also apply a Herschel LUT. Wow, it looks nice. And then you can also go split tone, where you're going to just highlight saturation, highlight hue, shadow saturation, then shadows hue like this, and then you can just balance it out. I mean, that looks amazing right there. And like I said, if you don't like it, you can just reset the group back to its default setting like that. So as you can see, each of the changes that you apply, you can deactivate like this. And then you can also do what's called a post-crop vignette. And then you can apply the crop here, feathering, roundness. So you can adjust the feathering here to make sure that you got a proper vignette. And then also the roundness to adjust the roundness. And there you go. And then, like I said, just deactivate it. And then you can also go detail. And then you can just pinpoint on a surface here. And then you can do a sharpening. So it'll sharpen the face. You can adjust the radius here. And then there's also the detail, and then there's a threshold. So the radius is applied like this. And then you can also do a noise reduction. So you can play around with a lot of settings here with the photos. If you have like professional photos and you want to do these details, it's amazing what you can do. And then there's also a skin tune where you can smooth skin, give some glow to the skin. There's the radius right there. Very nice. And then there's also a chromatic aberration. I didn't even know I could use stuff like this, which is really nice. Then there's a defringe strength here. And then there's color, so you can adjust it however you like. And then you can just reset the groups here. So that's detail, geometry. It generates the preview for geometry, and then there's like, oh wow, look at this. You can go rule of thirds here, lens correction. There's a lot of stuff you can do. Then you can just adjust the perspective of the photo. So you can shear it like this. You can just reset everything, leave it as is. Then just refresh everything. Then you can also crop things. It gives you the option to crop it. So we're just gonna crop something here. Then you can also constrain the proportion like this. Then there's also a vignette correction. It's pretty cool. Then you can just reset everything like you said. And then there's also the edit mode. And then you can also do, oh sorry, I missed that. You can do what's called a repair. So right click on an image to define a source point. So we're going to right click this. You can apply a preset here. So let's use the glow preset. Wow, it looks nice. And then there's also what's called a clone. So right click on the image to select the source point. Then we're going to apply, let's see, a New York preset. Wow. Look at that. Lots of things you can do. You can also do a retro filter. Oh, that's funky. I like that. That is really cool. And then you can just reset everything. And then the edit mode prepares the image for editing here. So this is your editor here. This is where I think most people would like to go. And then there's also repair tools. You can add watermarks, borders, vignettes, special effects. So you go to your special effects option here, and then it gives you a list of special effects here. Let's go crayon drawing. So this will apply the crayon drawing effect to this photo, which is really, really nice. And then for this, it's like pixel targeting, targeted tones, targeted colors. Wow, this is a really detailed editor. Like, there's a lot of stuff you can do on here. Set tones, set presets, everything. Like, that's just amazing. Then we're just gonna reset that. Wow, like that's really nice. Then there's like a Bob Ross thing here that you can do, and then there's a cartoon, and then a dauber, whatever that is, an oil painting. Then there's pencil drawing. Oh wow. So here, let's set the whiteness down so that a bit more pencil drawing. Let's just reset that. Wow. That is amazing. That is simply amazing. We'll just go cancel. So if you press done, it applies the effect, but then you can just go back to everything here, and then we'll just select water for now. So there's like a water effect here, and then you can just go done, but we're just not going to do that yet. We're just going to click cancel, and then you can choose everything. There's like photo effects here. Wow, that's really nice. It shows the list of like artistic filters, color filters, distortion filters. There's a lot here. Like blue steel. Let's see what that is like. So it generates a preview of that. So it's a preview of it, and then once you get a preview of it, then it allows you to go done or cancel, which is very, very nice. Let's go. There's user-defined convolution. Sunspot. Let's do sunspot. Let's see what that looks like. That is simply the best. And then you can also adjust the positioning of the sunspot like that. A vertical position. Then the brightness of the sun. That looks very, very cool. And then when you like it, press done. And then it applies that effect to the picture. So there you go. And then you can do a lot of things using geometry tools. You can add stuff like grain, watermarks, borders, vignettes, exposure and lighting, and color tools, and then detail tools. So let's do a blur tool. So we're going to press the blur button, and then we're going to wait until our finger goes here. There we go. And then the blur type shows here. I think this is a Gaussian blur, which is a lot of people what they use. Linear blur. Then you can apply the amount of linear blur. You can also adjust the angle of the blur. And then there's also a spread, where it spreads it out like this. And then there's also a smart blur. And then there's also zoom blur. Whoa. Okay, so I think you can also select a point here where you can do that, and it zooms out, which is really nice. And then there's also a lens blur. So you select the lens here, and then I think you apply it. And then there's also, it shows a heart. That's pretty cool. And then there's also presets here. Let's do that. Whoa, that's funky. We're just going to cancel that. But there's a lot that you can do. So let's say you're finished a project and then you're completely done with it. So we're just going to add our auto levels here. Let's just do that quickly. So auto contrast and auto color, auto contrast and color, and then we're done. And then there's a lot of presets that you can add here, which is really, really nice. And then auto levels, where you can adjust that, which we've already done. Cancel that. And depending on the speed of your computer and performance, it does things quite quickly. And then there's also color equalize here. We'll just do that. We're just going to do a little bit of stuff here, and then we're going to save our photo. So let's do a preset here just to start. There's global adjustments down here. And then there's high quality presets or standard. Let's do high quality. And then just going to add some yellows, some oranges, and some reds here. And then there's also vibrant shift. Oh, look at that. Then we're just going to apply it, and then we're done. And then let's say once you've applied that, now we are going to save it as a picture. So I think what you do is you go to File, Export, and then you go through a destination folder. So let's say same as the source folder, and you can also select a specific folder here. Go to Browse, and then we'll download it in Pictures, Saved Pictures. So you can specify where it goes. And then you can use a template to rename files. You can also set the format, the pixel format here, and then color space, output size. We'll show that here. And metadata and processing. You don't have to worry about that, so just go to Export. And then it exports your picture. So we're going to go to our folder and then Access Pictures, Save Pictures, and there's our snapshot. You can also rename the snapshot whatever you like. So it's really nice here. There's a lot of stuff that you can do on here. And then there's also this thing called 365. Let me just take a look at that quickly. I think this is like a ACDSee feature. So 365, this is like, I think this is a web browser. Yeah, I think what's happening here is that it's going through a web browser. So, oh yeah, it's like one of these like plans where it allows you to use this photo studio, like say a video editor, video converter. They have a lot of software here, and then there's also free upgrades. So this is just a browser, and then you can just sign up and sign in. And then there's also a dashboard where it gives you the summary of all the things that you've done, and then also it shows a summary of your photos and information. And then cameras, I don't know if I don't have any cameras used. Okay, well that's the name of my camera. Then there's also files, and then it shows like a pie chart of all the things that we have here. It's pretty interesting, but I don't think anybody would use that. So then it's got 5 simple tabs. Manage the photos, look at the photos, view photos, develop photos, and then edit photos. And that's it, because there's a lot that you can do here. Like, I think there's just so much that you can do on here. So I wanted to thank ACDSee for giving me the opportunity to test out this program. And if you have any other questions, please leave me a comment below, and I'll be more than happy to answer questions. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more content. Take care and have a great day. Goodbye for now.